All right, waiting for John Jaquay to make his way to the cage for our first bout of the evening. Out of the blue corner, what do we know about John Jaquay, Mike? Well, he's a 1-0-0 fighter, actually, as an amateur fighter. His only fight that he's had in so far was an 11-second first-round technical knockout of Billy Sutton, which was in February of this year. So we know one thing about John Jaquay. He's on a roll. He's already fought recently. He's probably not very, doesn't have very much ring rust, still pretty fresh.
Undefeated.
Undefeated in his amateur MMA career. Here we go. Taking a little bit of time. We have to figure out the logistics of the Syria Shriner Mosque.
Not sure which angle the fighters would be entering from here.
Exactly. A very big backstage here at a new venue for us tonight. Both fighters coming in at 170 pounds. Jaquay looks like a very large 170-pound guy, especially for an amateur fighter, which they don't normally do a lot of weight cutting.
No, because they have to make weight the day of the fight, so they don't get the luxury of 24 hours like professionals.
Absolutely. That's something we're seeing a lot more in MMA these days, though, is guys coming in and walking around closer to their weight. He doesn't look exactly like he has a lot of water sucked out of him, which could be to his advantage, not coming into the cage dehydrated tonight.
Yeah, some guys cut a ton of weight, and other guys feel more comfortable coming in at their natural body weight.
Let it be of note, tonight's first bout is going to be under the...
Damon Thiel at the inspection area cage side.
Our first bout of the evening will be under the Tier 1 amateur Pennsylvania MMA rules, which means the fighters will be wearing shin guards and will not be permitted to do punches to the face of a grounded opponent.
That is correct.
Very, very big distinction between Pennsylvania and Ohio in their ways of doing this. Holy crap. Damon Thiel's making his way out. Look at that scary mask.
It looks like some sort of variation on a Joker Batman theme, but
the Big Lots Joker. Now, I want to say, we've watched Damon Thiel fight before. We were actually here for his last fight at Gladiators of the Cage, where he had a unanimous decision win versus Joel Gaines. Very talented is Damon Thiel. Very impressive in his debut that we saw. Damon Thiel's actually 2-0-0, another undefeated fighter. His first fight was a technical knockout win in the first round versus Cody Herman.
I thought he was very composed and well put together for a kid his age. Very young fighter.
Absolutely, very well-rounded. A lot of really nice kicks that we saw out of him in his last fight. A lot of good movement. Very, very well-rounded, I guess I could say, about his performance. Damon Thiel making his way into the cage. We are ready to see the first fight of the evening. Now let's go ahead and send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our opening contest in the Gladiators of the Cage amateur welterweight division, calling for 3 2-minute rounds. First, fighting out of the blue corner, he weighed in 170 pounds. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, 26 years of age, a record of 1-0. He fights out of OTC. He's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Welcome, John the Convict Jaquay! And his opponent, he's fighting out of the red corner, weighing at 171 pounds. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, 19 years of age, undefeated amateur record of 2-0. He fights out of Pauline Martinburg's legendary Team Evolution out of Honor. He's from Monroe, Pennsylvania. Welcome, Damon, the Freak of Nature, Thiel! Your referee, Chip Snyder.
Sir, you ready? Sir, you ready? Come on, let's bang!
And round one of our first bout of the evening is underway. Chip Snyder at the helm for tonight's fights. Wow, and Jaquay is coming on hard.
Jaquay is landing a few there. You could see Thiel's head whipping back, but I don't think he's hurt.
Now let's see if Thiel can maintain his composure through this early
Nice kick.
onslaught.
Nice kick also.
Good movement by both fighters. A lead leg kick takes down Jaquay. Jaquay in the guard of Damon Thiel right now after a bit of a tussle. Thiel working an active guard on the bottom. Looks like he's trying to shift his hips out and possibly get a sweep.
Very close to that sweep. If the cage wasn't there, he probably would have went.
Good shots to the ribs by Damon Thiel from the bottom. That's something that's really important in these short amateur MMA rounds, the 2-minute rounds. They have to be active from every position they find themselves in.
Jaquay has moved to mount, but without punches to the face, you have limited offense from here, honestly.
Ain't that the truth? Damon Thiel doesn't have to worry too much about what he's doing with his hands at this point. He's not going to get hit in the face. He can kind of be active in grabbing of the hips and the thighs with his hands. Beautiful sweep by Damon Thiel into the guard of Jaquay. John Jaquay controlling the hands of Damon Thiel, utilizing the thickness of the glove.
And both men back up.
Now, I just want to point out, that took John Jaquay an extra second to get up off of his back. Now, that could be indicative of
that
a
was
lot.
a big punch. Jaquay ran right into big right hand.
Wow. John Jaquay is throwing some fire right now on Damon Thiel. What a chin on both fighters. Round one is in the books. How do you think that one went, Mike?
That is a very close round. I would have to give it to Jaquay, but it's really close.
That was a very close round. I would have to give it to Jaquay just because of the pressure he put on Damon Thiel, but Thiel did achieve a very nice sweep, and he had a couple of good knockdowns with that lead leg kick, especially knocking the leg out of John Jaquay.
And the stand-up, they are fighting at a very fast pace here.
Absolutely. This is one of those paces that you can see a lot whenever it comes down to these 2-minute rounds. That's another difference between Pennsylvania amateur MMA at the low level and Ohio MMA and many other states. The Pennsylvania amateur MMA has 2-minute rounds with, I believe, a 2-minute break in between.
No, it's only a 1-minute break.
I stand corrected. It's a 1-minute break.
But when you're fighting 2-minute rounds, it's a sprint. This isn't a marathon. You need to go out there and get all your work done in 2 minutes.
Round two's coming underway. I can't wait to see how Damon Thiel's going to come out after that onslaught in the first round.
I am thinking there's going to be a lot more leather thrown right here.
Could John Jaquay smell blood? Could Damon Thiel be re-examining his game plan for the fight? Good knee to the body by Damon Thiel, pulling Jaquay to the ground. Front headlock. Thiel working on taking the back of Jaquay, just needs to get his hooks in.
There it is, just close.
Now, to the untrained eye, it may not seem like it would be an advantageous move to have him in the position he's in, but a lot of jiu-jitsu players would actually say this is a better place to be than to be on his back in a turtle position. Damon Thiel's sinking that choke in deep.
He's close on the choke.
He needs to get under the chin.
But he's not, he's kind of losing the angle here.
Wow. Very good, patient escape from that. Well, that
vicious
was
body shots. But some of those
John
are coming
Jaquay
close
is
to the head.
He's punching Damon Thiel in the face with wanton disregard for the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission's rules regarding that.
Chip Snyder rightly
I would call for a point. That was very flagrant to me.
Stop the fight. Having Thiel examined by his corner, possibly state officials. Here's the 1-point deduction.
Take one, okay? Go back over there. Right here, right here.
Was that a 1 point?
That was a 1 point deduction.
All right, well, Chip Snyder taking a point from John Jaquay, and rightfully so. I'm not saying that it shouldn't be a rule that they are not allowed to hit to the face on the ground, but if they're gonna, they both should have that opportunity. It's not okay for one guy to do that and then gain the upper hand midway through the second round of a possible 3-round fight. Important of note, when a point is taken from a fighter like that, that would mean on the judges' scorecards that round is essentially unwinnable by the fighter who perpetrated the illegal move.
You good? You good? Okay, here we go. Sir, you ready? You ready? Let's fight.
Big whiff.
Wow. Perhaps Damon Thiel's patience could pay off here in the later rounds of this fight. Jaquay looked a little bit tired.
Thiel has a guillotine grip around the neck, but he doesn't even have a single leg in or hooked, so he can't finish this.
That's correct. Now, there it is. Now, Jaquay is not able to pass from that side mount on Damon Thiel, but it's still not a good position for Thiel. Jaquay going a north-south position, possibly looking for a Kimura or an arm lock. I don't think he has it, Mike.
He has no armbar there.
Round 2 is in the books. I would ask you who you thought took that round, but it's obvious by the loss of a point that that round had to have gone to Damon Thiel in the flagrant foul on the part of John Jaquay.
You would think. I would have scored the round in favor of John Jaquay, but I don't know. If it was 10-9 Jaquay and then he loses a point, is it now a draw round?
It could now be a 9-9 round. You are right about that. You were always the better one at the math. You know, I have to wonder how that punch to the face affected Damon Thiel, and it's not one of those things where it's that big of a deal. Who knows? 2 fights from now, 6 months from now, Damon Thiel could be throwing heavy leather to the face on the ground. But whenever you're not expecting it and you're not anticipating that shot to the head and you're not blocking it, I mean, that's a huge, huge issue whenever you're midway through a scramble on the ground.
Damon Thiel looks tired in his corner right now. His head is leaning against the cage. He looks exhausted.
Sir, you ready? You ready? Come on, let's fight.
Round 3 underway. Damon Thiel and John Jaquay. Both fighters take center cage, and Jaquay is just throwing heat. He is looking for that KO punch.
He wants to land that big right hand, and you know, he has, but limited effect on Thiel.
That was a beautiful hip toss there by Damon Thiel. Now he can get a little bit of time on top. Maybe he can do some real work, possibly work some jiu-jitsu.
It really was a really nice throw there.
Looks like he may be trying to isolate Jaquay's left arm, possibly for a Kimura lock, and he does not have it anymore.
Come on, Red Eye, what you move?
Looks like he's about to get rolled, and he got rolled.
Beautiful sweep there by Jaquay. John Jaquay is doing a great job of stifling the game of Damon Thiel tonight.
Jaquay is going for the Americana, and Thiel slips out. It's really hard to finish that. It's like the first submission everybody learns, and eventually it never works on anyone.
Unless you're John Jones fighting Vitor Belfort. He is still going to isolate that arm now. One of the things that's important of note, though, that Kimura grip that he was looking for, the Americana grip, can often be used to transition into different submissions like arm locks and sometimes even arm triangle chokes. I really think that Jaquay is playing with fire with how close he's coming to hitting Thiel in the face again. I mean,
he is. He's coming real close with some of those shots.
I think he might have even landed a couple of them. I mean, I'm not here to, you know, I'm not the ref. I'm not here to judge. I'm just talking about the fight, but about 5 seconds left. And there it is, folks. This one is going to go to the judges. Beautiful show of respect by both fighters, especially after such a hard-fought 3 rounds. You know, that was really an impressive performance by John Jaquay, having been 1-0. His first fight, obviously, was an 11-second TKO versus Billy Sutton. He came out with that same idea and that same game plan against Damon Thiel tonight, and I think he found himself a tougher opponent than Damon Thiel.
Damon Thiel just has a hell of a chin. I saw him wear some shots that, I mean, his legs are kind of shaky right now, but he ate some serious punches to the face there that he just walked through.
Oh, he'll be feeling that a little bit later on tonight when he's out to dinner with his family. Maybe have a little headache. But that's what you get whenever he's what? I think he's 19 years old. I mean,
yeah. I thought, I mean, it's a lot of composure for a kid his age.
You know, Mike, let's take a look at the instant replay from that bout. Here we have Jaquay. That was
an elbow.
That was a grazing elbow to the head right there.
Yeah.
And we see going to the body.
And
there is a shot
head,
to the face.
And that was just too much for Chip Snyder to ignore.
You know, and I feel like a few seconds before that clip started, there were a few other things going on that we didn't get a chance to see.
I think there were too. I honestly don't think it was John Jaquay being intentionally malicious. I think, you know,
he's just a very aggressive fighter.
He's just a very aggressive fighter, and he got carried away, and he just let his hands go.
Absolutely. I am impressed with his performance, by the way. I mean, that was a very good performance by both fighters, but John Jaquay just, I think, put his name on the map here at Gladiators of the Cage for the amateur division at 170 pounds. And he looks like he might be 155 if he ever keeps going, you know? I mean, he's not that big.
If he moves up and gets the pro level. And I think his game probably would translate better at the pro level anyway.
Absolutely. Awaiting the judge's decision. Let's send it over to our ring announcer. Maybe we won't just yet send it to the ring announcer, Dan Bogan, but very shortly here we will have the judge's decision.
Come here.
And here is Dan Bogan, ready to let us know who won the bout.
Trap.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up to both of these guys. Our opening contest was main event quality action. We have a majority decision. Our first judge scores it 29 or 29-27 for the blue corner. Our second judge scores it 28-28. And our last judge scores it 29-27 for the blue corner. Fighting on the blue corner, your winner, John Jaquay. John, that was not an easy contest.
Good fight, though. Hey, this.
Who do you want to thank tonight?
I want to thank all my sponsors, all my family over here, family, friends, came out to see me. Just want to tell everybody, after party at Bless tonight. That's my sponsor, big sponsor. Everybody can come, just say my name, you're in for free. Damon, thanks for taking the fight.
Where's Bush located?
Bless is right down Pittsburgh. I think on 9th Street. 9th Street in Pittsburgh. Come on down. Everybody's welcome. Free admission. I'll buy some people some beer, whatever. I don't care. Come on down.
Let's have your winner, John Jaquay!
I would like to take a moment to thank Club Blush as well. Club Blush, if you are listening, Grant Berger and Mike Willis would love to get an invite. That being said, what an amazing bout this first fight the evening had. Very hard back and forth battle.
Yeah, and
Thank you very much for your help. They're located at 231 Halton Avenue, Halton Road, in Oakmont Truck Rental.
There you have it, Oakmont Truck Rental. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a word from our sponsors.